Welcome to Osseo High School for Northwest Suburban Conference boys basketball. An all-district 279 matchup for you tonight as the Park Center Pirates pay a visit to their rivals here from Osio. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox, joined by Darren Lampker, the Osio football coach and a former basketball coach. And Darren, obviously both these teams a little bit young this year, not having quite the success that they had in some recent seasons, but it's still a big one anytime PC and Osio get together.
Yeah, these two are great rivals. It goes back and forth every year. You know, and a few years ago they were 1-2 in state, and now they're not having as great a year, but they'll be just as good as game this year. These guys get up for one another no matter what, you know, the rankings are or anything like that.
Osio's kind of picked it up a little of late. They've made some lineup changes. They have won 4 of their last 5. They've got a veteran coaching staff that I think by the end of the season, people will be a little bit hesitant to want to play them.
Yeah, you don't want to, you know, Tim Tyson, his name kind of speaks for itself. You know, I and a lot of other people learned a lot from the guy, and I'll tell you what, they're going to be tough by the end of the season. Whether he's got a lot of skill or not, he'll get after them.
For Park Center, Gerard Curry coming in his first season in the program, and there have been some some growing pains along the way, but he says, you know, we're slowly but surely getting things going a little bit. They've won 5 games now after a real tough start, and they're a team that they've got some athletic ability too. If you're not ready, they can come out and score some points on you. You
know, they got a lot of athletes, and they always will. And you know, you got to give the coach a lot of credit. He's coming in his first year, and he's making the rules, and he's setting them and sticking by them, and that's how you start a program. You know, he's doing it the right way, and it's impressive to see. But these athletes will run and jump all night long, so Osio better be ready.
It's one thing for both of these teams too, Darren. Not a lot of post play, not a lot of big guys inside. Each team will start one guy that has a little bit of size, but it's mostly guards on both teams all night. We're going to see a lot of up and down. We're going to see a lot of trapping, a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you're going to see some three-pointers thrown up tonight and some scrappy guys inside getting some buckets, but the old days of the post players not here tonight, but it's some fun basketball because I guarantee both teams are going to be up and down.
All right, the Pirates and the Orioles renew their rivalry next year. Osio won the first meeting. The Pirates will try and turn the tables here in round number 2. That's coming up next on 12 Sports.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And welcome back here to Osio as the starting lineups being introduced to the crowd here at Osio High School, and the Orioles and Pirates get set to tip off here. Look at our starting lineups for these two teams. For Park Center, Lawrence Ogunti, Tyshawn Brooks, Samani Hooker, Isaiah Simon, and that guy, Malcolm Lawson, the starting unit for the Pirates. And for Tim Tyson and the Orioles, Elliot Kane, Stephen Fisher, Alan Anderson, Marmar Hughes, the talented sophomore, and their leading scorer is Cameron Betty. Both coaches, to a large extent, Darren, kind of have the same key points for their teams. Take care of the basketball. We can't be turning the ball over constantly. And backboards are going to be a big key. I think both teams feeling like they have to keep the other off the offensive glass, give them one chance, not 2 or 3 or 4.
Well, absolutely. If you're, you know, both teams a little bit smaller, and you're going to try to push the ball up and down the court, you know, and shoot some threes, you're obviously not going to shoot a high percentage. You shoot so far from the basket. So those offensive rebounds and second chance points are huge tonight.
Orioles, we said earlier in the season, got Park Center over at Park Center by about 20, but boy, I know that feels like a long time ago to both of these teams now. You know, not that you totally disregard it, but I think both teams are different, kind of different clubs right now as the season has progressed, especially with so many guys who hadn't played much varsity ball on either team.
You know, and that's one thing about a good team is you rebuild all the time, and that's good and bad sometimes.
Pirates end up controlling it. Hooker with the basketball to start it out. He will let it fly immediately, and Amani Hooker knocks down a quick 2 here for Park Center. And here they come with some pressure. Anderson trying to throw over the trap there, and across it comes now to Hughes. Hughes is going to be called a foul on the block, and it will be against Brooks.
It's going to be a tough matchup for Osseo tonight. You know, Hooker is one of the better athletes in the state of Minnesota. He can move.
Anderson inbounding here for Osio. His team down 2-0 early, and he didn't quite get it in time. 5-second call against the Orioles, and Park Center has to be happy with that defensive effort. There's a look at Coach Curry for Park Center as Ogunti brings it into the front court. There's Hooker turning to face, tried to attack and ran into some bodies in front, and it'll be knocked out of bounds by Osio.
You know, that inbounds play a little bit ago, Elliott Kane has to come to the ball rather than kind of around the side. You got to break right to the ball in these pressure defenses.
Tossed in out high to Hooker. Across it comes. Ogunti lets it rip, and he hits a three-pointer. So on the road, Park Center making some shots early here. They go up 5-0. Across it comes. Hughes over to Betty. Layup is good.
It's a great pass from Hughes to Betty, and he finished it really nice.
Ogunti driving and then dishing. Brooks from the baseline, and he knocks down a long 2. Brooks had 38 against Coon Rapids. They just kind of carved up the 1-3-1 defense, it sounded like, and he was open and he kept shooting, he kept scoring. Here's Kane letting it fly, and that's good for a 3. Team shooting the ball pretty well early on here. 7-5 Park Center lead.
Yeah, there's not too many misses going on right now. A very high percentage. That usually always equals out at some point.
Ogunti's going to stop and fire. Not there. Betty grabs the board, and we get a foul on Lawson. Lawson didn't think so as he was trying to depart there as the outlet pass was made, as you could look at Coach Tyson. And he admitted, yeah, it's a little different here. It's been a while since we had as young of a team, and we've obviously had a lot of success, and it's been an adjustment for the guys and for the coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. That's tough, you know, when you're used to success all the time.
Hughes had that one blocked by Brooks. Great timing on that. Simon leaving it off now for Hooker. Back it comes to Amani Hooker. Good D by Hughes to cut him off. Simon to the baseline. We will get a hold call on the drive, and that's going to go against Fisher of Osio.
Geez, when Hughes and Hooker go at each other, that's a couple of big boys for guards. Pretty physical.
Tried to go to Hooker on the inbound, but stolen away by Kane. Kane dishing over to Betty, but he couldn't quite finish.
That was a great crossover pass by Kane.
Ogunti had it ripped loose by Kane, and then he lost the handle a little bit. Kane's going to stop and pop, and it's good. Even up now at 7 apiece.
It's a great play by Kane, under control. You know, Kane got a lot of minutes last year, so he's varsity tested.
Turnaround no good. And the up court comes Anderson here for the Orioles. A lot of action early as Kane with a little floater, and he hits. He was going to the deck and still gets it to go. 7 quick points for Elliott Kane. Osio now in front 9-7.
Elliott's feeling it right now, so you try to find a way to get him the ball if you can in the offense right now.
Hooker attacking baseline. Nice move, but it rolls out. He got it back and then had it stripped away on the way up. Anderson behind the back into the lane. He'll dish it back for Fisher's 3. Uh-oh, that one's way off. Rangefinder there didn't find the mark. He was hoping it was going to look like an alley-oop, I think.
Yeah, Fisher was a little bit off the mark there. He's going to have to get a steal to make up for it there somewhere.
Avery Matthews into the lineup here for Park Center. Kane now switching on to Hooker. Brooks picks up the dribble out high now. Here's Ogunti. Hooker looking to attack and fouled on the way up, and he will go to the line for 2.
When he gets his shoulder down and turns the corner, it's pretty impressive. You know, Osio likes to play that extended, tough man-to-man defense, and Park Center's so quick, and you got to make him knock some shots down sometime. Hooker's going to beat you off the dribble a lot of times there if you're not careful.
Free throw bounces around and out. I think that's one thing that's changed somewhat too over the years in high school ball is with the 3 being so prevalent now. It used to be you'd see a lot more teams really sagging in to help against that and not be so worried about giving up a 3. But now that's changed a little bit. You have to really be out there and ready to guard the 3 line too.
Well, these kids can shoot so well nowadays, every one of them. So, from the post players back to the guards, they all can shoot it. So you got to extend.
Hooker unable to get one to go at the line. Here comes Anderson attacking the other way, and the layup is good.
That was a great take from Anderson. Park Center's got to step in there and not let somebody go coast to coast on you. At least make them kick it out.
So after a good start for the Pirates, Osio surges into the lead at 11-7, and that shot might have been partially blocked. Here comes Anderson back the other way. This time the Pirates get back in good order. Into Betty. He'll swing it for Kane. Fakes the shot and then pull up baseline. It's good.
Very unselfish Betty in the post. He could have made a little jump hook there, but he found Kane, and Kane knows how to put it in the basket today.
Kido Lassane, 23, is in there for Park Center, playing at that post spot. And we get a foul away from the ball here against Park Center. It's going to be on Matthews. He was on the far side. Another look at this. There's what Darren said, the nice dish. And then nice job by Kane, too. A lot of times somebody who's a really good standstill shooter, they struggle a little bit with that right there, but he's obviously worked on that.
That was a great unselfish play by Betty, like I said, and if they can keep doing that, it's going to be tough to stop.
Kane will turn and let it rip. Why not? He is on fire here. 16-7, Osio. Timeout, Coach Curry and the Pirates.
Wow. I know it's the last time they think they might play Park Center, but Kane is finding a way to fill it up tonight. And that's just Park Center's got to get, up in his face a little bit. He's a shooter, and make him put it on the floor.
Good recognition there by Kane, too. I mean, I don't know that necessarily when he got the ball that he thought there was going to be a shot there, but he did what you're supposed to do, turn, face, and be in the triple threat position there, and they were nowhere near him, and he's going to let that one fly, especially when you're as hot as he's been already, but he would shoot that one in any situation. He already has 12 points. That'd be like a season high if, for some guys, and he's already reaching that in this very early going.
It's one thing you teach young kids all ages is catch the ball, turn and face, and you put a clinic on right there.
So Park Center getting off to that very good start. They're have run into a little bit of a drought, but I think it's really been more defensive end that they've had issues, probably more so than offense.
Yeah, and sometimes that's an issue. When you make your first couple of shots, you think, hey, it's going to be like that all night, but you got to get after it defensively.
Matthews comes out to get it here for the Pirates. Lassane looking to attack, but pretty well defended. Cross-court pass, and Fisher with the steal. Fisher goes all the way, missed the layup. Kane, though, gets it back. Didn't score it, but he's fouled and will head to the free throw line.
It's a great steal by Fisher. He got his hand in the passing lane. He went down just a little bit fast. Here's the steal.
See, that cross court was going to be tough to get through there, and Fisher felt the pressure coming and got a little too much on it, but Kane, that's why you chase down those layups. You don't want to assume your guy's going to make it.
Absolutely. Fisher played a little football this year and looked like a pretty good defensive back there and made a nice tip.
J.J. Svack, number 11, coming in. And Nathan Cross, also number 21.
Offensively, Park Center needs to just slow down a little bit and work the ball around and try to get, Hooker on a one-on-one situation on the wing and try to get him the ball a little bit more. And they got to take it to the rack. That's the only way to slow people down. Shoot some free throws.
Matthews comes out to get it. Now Simon to the baseline, looking to attack. Shoveled it over, but right to Anderson. And here come the Orioles. Anderson with a little pull-up floater, no, and Hooker rebounds. Here's Amani Hooker down the lane, wouldn't drop. Tipped out, and Kane comes away. He's 1-on-3 here. He's going to stop and fire, and he hits. Kane continues to light it up. 17 already for him.
Yeah, this could turn into a career night for Kane if they don't find a way to get in his face.
Timeout taken again by Park Center. Elliott Kane has been on fire here for the Orioles, and this is a confident shot here. It's 1-on-3, and you stop, get your balance, and put that shot up.
Yeah, he's feeling it right now. You know, in Park Center, even though you're smaller, you got to find a way to work the ball. Somebody's got to post up, one of the guards or somebody, just to try to alleviate some of the pressure that Osio's putting on you out there, and try to slow this down a little bit and get into a little bit of a half-court game and shoot some free throws. You know, eventually Osio will cool off. There's no doubt about it. Park Center's got to weather the storm. But as of right now, it doesn't look like they're gonna.
And the funny thing is, if you were with us in the very opening minutes, Park Center was the one that came out strong. They scored the first 5 points of the game, had the early lead, but obviously that can and did change in a hurry in this case. Kahari Broadway, number 55, a very talented 8th grader in there now for Park Center, and he will get the basketball here. Hussein taking it out on the wing. Now they've got Lawson and Hussein both in there together.
You don't see too many 8th graders playing in the Northwest Suburban Conference, so you must be a pretty special athlete.
Into Lawson, but it was jabbed loose. Cross now giving it up to Hughes. And Anderson. Backdoor cut by Kane, and he is fouled and will shoot free throws.
You know,
Lawson coming over and got him on the wrist.
What a great job of recognizing the hot shooter, and then they take him backdoor. Coach Tyson dialed that one up really nice right there. He knew they'd be getting pressure on Kane to try to deny him the ball.
Kane's free throw good again. Checking in, speaking of young guys, not quite as young as Broadway, but freshman Zach Tyson comes in, a 6-foot freshman.
You know, and there's been a Tyson on the basketball team for a while the last few years, but it is no relation. This one actually is a relation.
Betty comes back into the lineup here for Osio as well. They get to set up their pressure after a made free throw, 23-7 Orioles. Now Matthews will work it into the front court. They punch it into Lawson at the edge of the lane here. He's going to look to attack and not able to get it to drop, but Hussein comes up with the rebound. Kicks it over to Broadway. Spins, turns, fires, no good. And we will get a foul call on Hussein on the rebound as he pushed off to get that one. So obviously no bucket there. And
a much better possession for Park Center. They worked it around a little bit and went from there. And, you know, part of the difference is Park Center needs to put a body on some people.
Into Betty, and he lost the handle a little bit, so he goes to Anderson in the corner, won't go. And Matthews, the rebound, looking to push the tempo here for Park Center. But taken away by Tyson. Anderson looking inside to Betty. It was tipped, but he gets it anyway, and then Hussein clobbers him. That'll be his third, and Cameron Betty will go to the free throw line here for Osio.
You know, it's kind of a forced pass. In that situation, you had him open, but it's tough to squeeze in there. If you reverse the ball one time, you probably get it to him from the other side. But it ended up working out anyways.
Betty with a couple of points in the early going here, and he gets the free throw to go. Averages about 12.5 a night for the Orioles.
You know, he's been their constant force all year, you know, getting the ball inside, doing a little bit of the dirty work, and you know, cleaning up the glass and doing everything, you know, a player needs to do to get some points, and especially if you're not a three-point shooter and getting a chance to get the ball down low.
Free throw is good again, so the Orioles perfect at the line so far, 6 out of 6, 25-7. Osio really opening it up here in this first half. Park Center made it some buckets early, but have really struggled of late. Now Hooker kicks it across to Matthews. Amani Hooker looking to drive it, had it tipped away. Good hustle by Ogunti though to run it down. Baseline drive, Broadway dishes to Lawson, layup good, and the drought broken there for the Pirates.
What a great pass by Broadway. That was really impressive. As an 8th grader to go down like that and keep the poise and balance and to find somebody in the post there.
Christopher Hervey, 14, is in there handling it now for Osseo. They'll kick it across to Tyson. Hervey lets it rip, the left-hander, no good. Betty, though, grabs the rebound. He missed it, tries again, no good. And they'll come out of there with it again as J.J. Svack grabs the rebound.
Second chance points, we talked about it earlier, and Osio's got almost all of them.
Into Betty, and it rolls off, and Lawson rebounds. Tough luck there, he got good deep post position. Ahead now for Hooker, couldn't quite bring it in traffic, and it will be a turnover for the Pirates.
Betty's having some tough luck inside, but keep going to them. Those will fall at some point. It also just makes the defense collapse, and it gets shooters open.
Tyson stepping down the lane, little floater wouldn't go. Broadway up for the rebound. Now Hooker. Here's Lawrence Ogunti, fakes the shot, gives it back to Amani Hooker. Long distance three, in and out. Ogunti, the rebound, he scores it.
That's going to happen. It's a great job by Park Center to get to the glass there, and long shots create long rebounds.
Svack from the corner for three, that's short, but it comes right back to him. Over to Hervey, and he draws the foul inside. So Osio will head back to the line here.
Missed by Hooker and a great rebound finish there. That's what Park Center's gonna have to do. Whatever the standards, you can tell the last few shots for Osio, the shooting percentage is kind of balancing out a little bit. And Park Center, if they're gonna get back into this, they're gonna have to take advantage of that.
First miss at the line for Osio is Hervey not able to get it to go. Foul went against Broadway. And he misses a pair. Let's see who touched this last. It'll be out off of off of Park Center's Lawson, it looks like. And Kane will come back in. We'll see if that little breather cooled him off or if he's still going to be as hot as he was.
I hope they're running a play here for him at some point.
Inbound comes to Kane, but he'll bring it back out top to reset here with Tyson. Pass tip, Tyson gets it back, but we have a hold call against Matthews.
They got a little bit strong. Tyson's got to be a little bit stronger with the ball there. He gets pressure in his face, and you got to, rake that ball and go to the basket, and don't take that.
See the Park Center, that was their 9th team foul. There's Tyson sinking the free throw for the Orioles. So that's another thing that hasn't gone PC's way tonight, is they've been fouling more than they would like here in the early going. Zach Tyson gets his first 2 points, 27-11 Orioles.
Also still running a little jump press or a little trap when they can once in a while here. Park Center just seems to be running exchanges. Against Osio's pressure, you got to put a body on somebody and try to free somebody up.
There's Hooker with a pull-up jumper, and he knocks it down. His second field goal of the night, 27-13. Now Kane driving it down the lane and going to be called for the travel, which I didn't really see that, I guess.
I did not see the travel either there, but these guys, these refs are paid more than we are, so they're always correct.
Into Lawson, Betty fouled him there as he kind of fell into him. Good call, and that'll be his first. So Park Center, as bad as that stretch was for them, yeah, it's 14, but I mean, they're not, you know, you want to chip away, get it under 10 by half if you're them, and maybe, you know, still work. That's the thing that sometimes people forget. The game, it's a long game, and you're going to have stretches where it doesn't go well. Like you said, Osio is not going to stay as hot as they were, and they haven't.
No, and Park Center needs to get their scores in the game and get them an opportunity like this going to the basket.
There's Hooker heading to the free throw line. Looks like his thumb got banged a little bit there. Kane will pick up his second.
That's the #1 way to stop a shooter like Kane. Go right at him and get him to get in foul trouble. It's like you said, he knocks these two down. It's a 12-point game.
First one is good. Hooker missed his first 2 free throws, but got some good arc on that one. Gets it to drop. Hughes comes back into the lineup here for Osseo. And Hooker makes a pair, so it is down to a 12-point game at 27-15.
And Park Center's kind of pulled off their press a little bit here after Osseo kind of carved it up for a while there. And Osseo needs, you know, they're in the double bonus right now, so if I were you guys, I would get to the rim as fast as I can.
Cross to Tyson, back out. Here is Kane. This time, no. And Lawrence Ogunti up for the board here for Park Center. Brooks attacking at the bottom of the backboard. And now Kane pushing it back the other way. Tyson fires it up, and it's good for 3.
You know, it just extends the defense. When you got shooters on the floor, you got to come out and defend those guys.
Hooker drive, kicks it to the corner to Brooks, and that's good for 3.
You know, that's a great play by Hooker. He had nice penetration there and found Brooks in the corner, and that's what Park Center needs to do, get some more movement.
Marmar Hughes down the middle, threw it up left-handed, no good, and Lawson grabs the board for the Pirates, and can kind of see the confidence level returning here for Park Center as they have fought their way back in it at least somewhat. And we get a foul away from the ball on Betty, it looks like, of Osio, as he and Lawson are been banging around pretty good, and Lawson got a couple early fouls, and now Betty will have his second. And he's going to sit down.
That's a great pass by Hooker there, very unselfish. And, you know, he probably could have taken a shot there, but he found a teammate in the corner.
That does the check, checks in. Tyson almost fouled Broadway there. And now Broadway is fouled farther on down the line there, so he will head back to the free throw line. And you know, we talked about earlier how the foul situation was favoring Osio, but here's Park Center attacking more, and there you see, I mean, if you're just kind of throwing it around the perimeter, you're not probably going to draw many fouls, and now they're seeing evidence that attacking is working out. You
know, and that's what you got to do. We talked about it earlier is, you know, get some movement, attack the basket. They're not big guys in there. They're not going to block your shot, you know, and get to the free throw line, and next thing you know, this is possibly a 10-point game here. As bad as it seemed for Park Center to be down 10 with 6 minutes to go, that's not too bad.
Broadway makes a pair. The second one looked like kind of a flat shot, just kind of deadening up and falling in here. So it is a 10-point game, 30-20. Down the lane, Anderson too hard with it, and Lawson boards it for Park Center. They have a chance to get it into single digits here, and still a lot of time to go in the half, actually, under 6 minutes to play. Baseline drive, Brooks scores it. Tyshawn Brooks now has 7. It's an 8-point lead for Osio.
You know, every time Osio comes down the court and goes one-on-one by themselves and doesn't work the ball around, things don't happen well. But when they spread the ball out and pass it a little bit, they're usually getting a pretty good look.
Here comes Hughes down the lane and scores it. And a timeout taken by Osio's Tim Tyson as they get Marmar Hughes, and you saw the movement created opening there, or at least a lane to drive, and Hughes knows what to do with that.
Absolutely, and every time you come down and shoot that first shot right away. Well, here's that bucket first. There's a great drive, good body control. Wow. I see how Brooks had 38 the other night. If he can make some shots like that. And there's Hughes with just pure strength coming down the lane there. That was tough. But what you're talking about is the reason why that opened up for him is they came around, swang the ball around the perimeter 2-3 times, and that opens up a lane. Normally, defenses are in their best position right when they come down the court. But if you can get the ball to move around a little bit, you'll get a little bit more of an openings.
Park Center has to feel good about the way that they've chipped away back at this lead. I mean, there's no magic formula when you get down big like that. You know, you gotta have put good possessions in a row together, and you can make up deficits here. And like you said, you know, being down 10, you're not delighted, but compared to what it looked like a few minutes ago, they're actually in a pretty good position here.
Yeah, they're not bad right now. They can keep it around 8, 10, something like that, and make some adjustments at halftime. You know, they'll have a shot. You've seen Osio's cooled off a little bit from the perimeter. But I'm assuming Coach Tyson's telling his team, let's not settle for jump shots if we can get to the basket.
You got Betty sitting with the 2 fouls, which kind of takes away your best inside threat, changes things up a little bit that way. In for Park Center, Osiris Washington, number 13 for the first time. He gets the ball here in the corner. Osio looking to trap along the sideline, now way across Ogunti. Broadway looking to get into the lane, he traveled. And now Hughes will inbound here for the Orioles as they are up 10. We tick under 5 minutes to play here in this first half.
And the refs are not letting them do that 2-step move, and I didn't, I see it travel earlier, but they're calling it both ways. At least they're consistent.
And it just rolls out of there for Anderson, but Kane will get it back. To the corner, Bezdicek, that's an air ball. And Ogunti will push it back for PC to the big guy Lawson. And then Hughes gets back to steal it as Lawson was running out of room underneath and had to throw it back. Now Gunty nearly had the steal. Anderson away with it though. Kane to Tyson in the corner, and he buries it. Good unselfish play there again. Kane could have let that one fly, but he moved it one more spot over, and Tyson was open.
Yeah, that was just a great pass by Kane, and you know what? When you got a shooter like Tyson out there, you just got to keep giving him the ball if he can. He's not going to probably create his own shot, but you find something for him, he's going to knock it down.
Broadway, a nice drive that time, got the footwork right and lays it up and in, so 35-24. Here comes Hughes to the rack. Wouldn't go, but he was fouled by presumably Broadway there, trying to catch up to him from behind, and it indeed is on Broadway. So Hughes, you were right. When he's able to turn the corner and get those shoulders out front of you, it's hard to stop him. I'm sure he wishes he had gotten that hoop to drop as well, but.
Absolutely, and in Broadway in that situation, you got to back up a little bit there. I know he's young and they like pressure defense, but let's make Hughes knock a shot down or two, instead of just letting him get to the basket like that.
Fisher coming back into the lineup here for the Orioles, so they have pushed the margin back to 12. We've been kind of talking about it from the Park Center perspective of let's get it whittled down to this or that, and Osio saying, let's push it back to 15 or so, and that's
you're right.
Kind of back and forth it's going. And struggling with the handle. Broadway made a great save, and then Washington can't come up with it cleanly either. Will be a tie-up, and it'll go Osio's way. Just a kind of a struggle all the way up court there for Park Center.
Yeah, they're doing it's a tough thing for them this press is really causing some issues in the zone press. And the Orioles are doing a nice job of slowing Park Center down with a little bit of a 2-2-1 press.
Back out high to Kane, who was on fire earlier. Slowed down a little bit here. Now Elliott Kane gets into the lane and scores it.
It's got to give him a little bit of space when they put the ball on the deck like that. And
Jordan Igard, 22, is in now for Park Center. Broadway back out to Ogunti, so the lead is back to 15 now for Osio. Ogunti fires and short. Bezdicek, nice hands to secure that rebound.
Yeah, there's some young kids on the court for Osio at times tonight. With a 10th grader and a 9th grader, and same with Park Center also. So the future looks pretty bright for both of these two teams.
Broadway will be called for the reach-in as he tried to jab that one free from Anderson on the drive. That'll be his third. So Anderson will check in at the free throw line here for Osseo to try and get them into the 40s. They're up 39-24.
You know, he's young and he's got to learn. He's got to back up just a little bit there and give a little bit of space, especially stay in the ball game. You know, 2 fouls now, he's got 3. He's a heck of an athlete, though. He'll be fun to watch in the future.
Simon coming back in along with Hooker for Park Center. Second free throw is good. So 40-24, and Osio coming with pressure again here. Hooker will throw over it to Washington, and he's going to launch one, and that one's way long, but good weak side rebound there by Jordan Nygaard, and then he was fouled. I don't think the Osio player even knew he was there. He thought he was about to catch that errant shot, and Nygaard snuck in around behind. Right there, Hughes let him get by, and then Fisher hit him in the arm on the way by. So Nygaard will head to the free throw line here for Park Center. And he hits.
That's what they're going to need. They're going to need to stay at the line and, you know, stop the clock a little bit and get some easy points.
Second free throw, no good. So the lead at 15 here for the Orioles. Now they got Betty back in there. See if they can get him some looks, as Park Center doesn't have Lawson in, and they get it right into Cameron Betty here, looking to attack, and Nygaard got a piece of that. Betty, though, gets it back out to Kane.
It's a great job by the senior Kane to pull that out and try to, you know, instead of just forcing it in.
Betty not able to get it to drop, but a foul will be called against Nygaard.
That was a quick spin move with the left hand there by Betty.
Can tell they've been working on that one. It was a little bit, you know, robotic. I don't want to say robotic,
yeah,
but you know, you could just tell it's okay. Here's how we teach that, but he was able to draw the foul.
That was nice. You know, Betty's not the tallest, like we said, but boy, he battles in there and
active
gives,
underneath
yes,
too. He doesn't just post up once and say, "Hey, I'm open." He keeps moving, getting position. From the corner, no for Anderson, but they'll get another offensive rebound and another crack at it.
I think I just saw 2 offensive rebounds for Fisher. That must be the most in his career.
Kane got hit on the way in, and he will shoot free throws, although he might have gotten jabbed in the eye a little bit. Washington picks up the foul.
It's just too many shots, you know. If you can hold them to 1 shot there and rebound. That's Osio's 3rd possession here. 1 trip down the court.
Second free throw also good. Kane has had a tremendous first half, 43-25 Osseo lead. Hooker across to Washington, tried to give it over to Lawson. It's on the deck, and then Ogunti winds up with it. Right place, right time there, and he'll get the easy layup. Not exactly how they drew that one up, but it winds up in a hoop. Kane driving into the middle, lost it. Simon across to Amani Hooker. Nice pass, and Washington for the layup.
What a great pass by Hooker. He sees the floor very well.
Now down to a minute to play in this first half. 14-point Osseo lead. Inside to Betty off the feed from Bezdicek.
And that's just too easy. Bezdicek made a great pass there, and Betty finished, but Park Center's got to find a way to get a hand in there and not let that pass happen.
45 to go. Simon launching a 3. It's short. And Betty grabs the rebound there for Osseo. They are up 16. We'll see if they might hold for 1 here. Yep, it sounds like that's what Coach Tyson wants.
You know, you got a chance to go up a minimum of 16. I think that's a very smart decision.
Kane coming out to get it across to Zach Tyson. Now to Betty out high, and it'll be a blocking foul. They tried to get in front of him and cut him off, but didn't quite get there in time. And Washington will pick up the foul.
That's the correct call there. Did a nice job to get it to him. Oh, he was close. He was close. He had the right idea to try to get in front of him there, and just one more step over and give him a little bit of space there. He should have been all right.
I think in a lot of ways that wasn't really what Osseo wanted, was Betty driving the ball from the top of the key, but it works out.
Yeah, I would say that was not option one.
Anderson will check in here. They'll get Kane out of there with 2 fouls to try and make sure he stays at 2 heading into the half.
Betty's got 2 fouls too. I'm surprised they're not taking him out, but he's playing back, so hopefully he just gets back and doesn't foul anybody.
Pirates looking to bring it back the other way here. And back out, Hooker to the corner. Good effort by Bezicek, only 0.4 of a second remaining.
I'd like to see Park Center try to get a nice shot off here, and if you can maybe throw in a 3 quick.
And not going to happen, so we've reached halftime. 46-29 Pirates. More of our coverage in just a moment.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Welcome back here to Osio. The Orioles leading Park Center by a score of 46-29 at halftime of this one. Pirates started out pretty decent, and then Osio really stormed ahead. Pirates fought back, and then the Orioles stretched it back out to a nice margin here of 17 at halftime. Look at the West Division. Of course, we've gone to 2 divisions now with the addition of 3 additional teams, and Maple Grove right now standing in front, and Armstrong, both of those are top 5 teams. You see their overall records really very strong, and Osio hanging in there at 3rd place right now. And then on the other side in the what's called the North Division, Champlain Park, the class of the group there, they are playing Centennial tonight. Centennial is actually, the record doesn't look that good, but they've given some teams some pretty tough games, and in fact handed Maple Grove one of their losses as well. Darren, obviously new for everybody with the 2 division setup, and pros and cons to that. Have you heard much talk among everyone?
It's the conference record, only means so much. Obviously, sections is what really matters, but a conference title is an important thing for schools and players and for coaches. I've heard mixed emotions from people, but you set it up. You'd like to play your rival in basketball twice. Park Center and Maple Grove and Osio should always play twice, and I believe they do this year. Doesn't work that way with everybody else sometimes, and I think that needs to be a focus of any conference alignment that you do, is
you keep those rivalries intact. That's great for school districts, communities, and everybody.
Dance team on the floor here at Osio. The Orioles leading Park Center 46-29. We'll be back with more of our live coverage here on 12 Sports.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And Shelter Pets makes super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a Shelter Pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back here to Osseo High School. Along with Darren Lemker, I'm Jay Wilcox. Osseo leading Park Center 46-29 here. Boys basketball action as we take a look at some first half highlights from this one. And Osseo surging into the lead as Elliott Kane was just unconscious in that first half. He filled up the scorebook, that's for sure. There's one on the outside, then he steps back and pops a jumper and gets it to bounce around and drop. And Kane, they back off him, just turns, calmly nails a three. He had three from beyond the arc in the first half. Brooks answering with the three from the corner for Park Center. And then he makes a nice strong drive to the baseline here, cuts between a couple guys and banks that one up and in. And then here's Kane again attacking it down the middle, and that was his last field goal of the half. And he had a pretty good one with 23 points in that first half. Betty had 8 and Tyson had 8 off the bench for Osio, and you see Ogunti and Brooks 7 apiece, and Amani Hooker with 6 for the Pirates. We will come back with more basketball here from the home of the Orioles in just a moment. 46-29 Osio at halftime.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
Welcome back here to Osio as Park Center trailing the Orioles by 17 beginning the second half. And Darren, we both kind of thought the same thing. Beginning of the second half is really big. Either, you know, I think after about maybe 4 minutes or so, you'll be able to tell either Park Center has gotten back in it or Osio is just going to slowly pull away. Pirates definitely showed some good burst when they got back to, you know, cut it to 10 or less there, down to 8, I think it was. But then Osio just kind of calmed down and had some good possessions there late in the half.
You know, Osio can kind of get what they want when they were working the ball around and getting to the basket. But if they got in helter-skelter pace, it wasn't so well for them on offense. But, you know, Park Center can just slow down a little bit, pound the ball inside. He doesn't have to score inside. It just takes a little bit off the pressure, kick it back out, get some movement, and get some slashing to the baskets and battle and not look at the scoreboard. You know, as a coach right now in this situation, you just tell them, hey, let's do what we've been taught, do what we do well, and you know what, let's check back in 9 minutes from now and see where we're at.
Pirates girls leading by 9, and those teams are matching up over at Park Center tonight. It's been a little bit of a turn in that rivalry. Obviously, Park Center for many, many years just didn't have much success at all against Osio in girls basketball, but now obviously the Pirates are kind of riding high, won that state title in 3A last year, and very good team again this winter.
Absolutely. Park Center is really tough in girls hoops right now, and Osio's, you know, had a decent year, but nothing what they're used to.
Here's Ogunti putting it on the floor as we begin this second half. Simon in the corner. Lawson now at the edge of the lane. Nice pass back to Simon, but he couldn't find the room to get that shot up very well.
Very patient possession for Park Center. That's what they need to have. I know they're not happy with the result, but tell you what, it moved the ball around and made Osio play some defense.
Kane to Betty, not able to finish it. Then he makes a harder shot the second time around. Get that offensive rebound under your stat column.
Yeah,
there,
you
right?
get a little stat there, but you also blow the assist for Kane. That's good and bad. You know, I could count on the. I've seen Osio play a lot over the years, and I've never seen too much zone defense. And Bush Tyson's gone to a little bit of zone. It can tell you have a small team when he's doing that.
Fisher bringing it back for Osio. Tried to go to Hughes. It was tipped, but he'll run it down. Anderson wide open in the corner, but missed it.
You know, he's a tough night shooting the basketball tonight. He might want to think about trying to get to the rim.
Across it comes. Simon will line up a three. Bounces around and crawls in. And he'll take it a three. Boy, the rims are very loose here at Osio, and he got the roll.
You mentioned that earlier. It must be all the teachers that work here dunk on those rims during lunchtime or something. They're really loose.
Into Betty there. Kind of an unfortunate foul by Park Center. As boy, I would not have liked the odds that this ball was going to fall based on where it hit on the rim, but it did.
Nope.
Foul went against Lawrence Ogunti at the other end as he just was kind of happened to be in the way and when Betty was trying to catch that ball.
Oh, Betty got a nice screen there.
Kane shooting a three, but it won't go. Brooks then was fouled as Fisher just fell into him. So Park Center basketball in the backcourt. Here's Brooks handling it as he backs it out now. Simon. Hooker trying to post up on Hughes. Simon gives it back to Amani Hooker. He'll shoot it up. That's way too long. Lawson comes away with the rebound and couldn't get it to drop. And Hughes up with it for Osio. Anderson to Kane, right back to Anderson. trying to dish it to Betty, and he was fouled on the way up. Tried to squeeze a pass in tight quarters. Betty, to his credit, never took his eye off it, and he did make a good catch and then was fouled.
But he's got a nice set of hands there, and they seem to find him and give Anderson some credit. He decided to, he had an open look here, but he decided to take it to the rim, which is the way to do that.
Betty's free throw is good.
You know, and every time Park Center does a little bit, Osseo just kind of extends that lead.
So 50-32 Orioles, and Simon, that was going to be over and back either way there, and they end up throwing it away. He was turned and started to throw it back to Hooker there.
That was a
Fisher will inbound for Osio. Go way out high with it to Anderson. Down the lane, little stop and pop, and he hits.
And that's a great play by Anderson. He's an athletic young man, and he needs to find a way to get to the rim.
Hooker whipping it ahead. Tyshawn Brooks traveled. Yeah, he got a little bit of a running start there as he caught it. Pretty good job by the official to be ready for that one. As you see right here, he's moving already and takes a couple quick steps.
Yeah, that's a great call.
It's a good, strong drive and finish at the end. However, there was no doubt he got a little run going before he had put it on the deck. Brooks up in Kane's face. I'm sure Coach Curry had some things to say at halftime about it. Let's make sure things don't happen so easily for number 3 in this half. So Anderson will inbound, gets the handoff right back. Little up fake and scores it. Nice move.
That's his game. He needs to get to the rim. Obviously, you know, I know he likes to shoot the 3, and he needs to be able to shoot that. But if you can get to the rim like that, you got to take advantage of that.
Baseline now, Lusain has come in and missed it. Kane grabs it.
Park Center did a nice job to break the press there and got a good look.
Into Betty, looking to attack. Will it count? I think it might. Let's see. I didn't see the signal here initially. Yes, count the basket for Betty. And Lusain will pick it up. Nice job of staying good concentration there as he kind of took the bump and then kept going.
You know, Park Center needs to realize this in a hurry, that you can't play behind Betty tonight. You're going to have to get around him. You know, he every time he gets the ball, he's creating some havoc. You know, if you work hard, you can get around him.
Broadway down the lane, scoops it up and in. Tough shot.
Wow. He's an impressive young man. We've said it before, but just great body control to get to the rim there.
And Osio turns it over as Hughes pass almost into the bench there. Anderson trying to save it.
That's one thing you don't want to see if you're Coach Tyson. You can't just throw the ball away there in that situation. You know, I know it's not probably going to affect tonight's game, but later on down the season, that's something you just got to avoid.
And that's where coaches will tell you that one-hand pass off the dribble, that you lose control of it, and you got no shot at getting it back. There's Lusain laying it in off a nice feed from Hooker.
You know, you can tell Hooker's played a lot of basketball. He just sees the court so well.
Anderson really feeling it now, this time short, though, and Simon out of there with it. Ahead to Amani Hooker, but he couldn't come up with it. He was looking cross court. He saw somebody in a white jersey cutting, and he wanted to get him the ball, and instead couldn't come up with it. Nice drive and dish there. Pirates at times have shown flashes of good offense, but not enough here as they are down by 21. Kane will swing it around to Hughes.
Now Park Center's doing a little better job in the post there, trying to front him.
Fisher drives and is fouled. Lawrence Ogunte will pick up the foul. And Fisher, it will be a shooting foul, so he heads to the free throw line here. And gets it to go. Avery Matthews checking back in for the Pirates. Second one no good. Broadway to the baseline and couldn't keep the dribble, loses it. It will be Osio basketball.
.55.
Delay a game warning here against Park Center as they just knocked the ball away. I really didn't see it.
Yeah, he lost the ball, and then the ref looked at him and he had it. He just dropped it to the side rather than giving it to the ref.
Anderson will bring it up here. Matthews just a little token man-to-man pressure there. Here is Anderson shooting the long one, no good. Tipped over to Broadway, and now Hooker. Hooker giving it up. Lusain running the court, gets the layup.
Great pass. You know, he's just sees them all.
Kane into the front court. He'll kick it over to Fisher for an open three, and that's good. The drive and dish game there for Osseo.
Great pass, and Fisher had a bad air ball in the first half, but he kind of atoned himself there and knocked it down.
Hooker turns and sinks the one-hander for the Pirates. 8 points for Hooker in the game, a lot of assists as well. But they're fighting an uphill battle right now.
Park Center keeps getting beat off the dribble really bad.
Hughes missing on the floater. Simon running it back the other way. Gives it up to Broadway. Layup good.
They can get out and run. That's Park Center likes to do that, but they're going to have to get some stops defensively here and try to get this down to a 10-point game with about 5-6 minutes to go.
There's Simon getting in the passing lane for the steal. Simon will go all the way. Ooh, and Hughes fouls him. Free throws coming.
You know what? I thought Simon had a free two points there, even though it was kind of a harder fall. It was great hustle back by Hughes to get after that. You know, I can see what happened. It was Hughes that threw the pass. If Simon could have stopped him off 2 feet there rather than just explode to the rim, he might have had a three-point play.
Simon way short on that free throw.
Checking in for Park Center, Brooks and Osio, Cross and Tyson.
Brooks will come back into the PC lineup. Tyson and Cross come in for the Orioles here. Anderson weaves his way into the front court. Back cut, Kane gets the layup. First bucket of the second half, but a mere 25 on the night now for Kane after that 23-point first half.
You know, just a really nice play for the...
Oh, there's Broadway with another nice baseline move. And again with the backdoor cut. Layup good. Anderson to Kane.
Well, if you can't stop it, why not keep doing it?
And Broadway is fouled by Cross on the drive. See it again. They try hard to pressure the wing and just get overcommitted. And pretty soon Kane's gone.
You know, the sophomore there, I believe it's number 32, is that Simon's really got to see the ball on his man there. And, you know, I know he's in a tough position with Kane out there that can shoot it, but you got to make him catch it going away from the basket, not to the basket. That's just too easy.
Yeah. There's a look at coming up later this week. We've got Metro West Conference basketball as Benilde and Cooper, kind of similar to this game in that the two teams that have had really good programs of late. And, you know, a couple of years back, that was like a real high-powered matchup. Not so much this year, but still should be an interesting one. You know, you get a chance to see, and there's ebbs and flows in high school sports. You can't count on every year being a great year, and we're seeing that in this game and with that one. But still some good basketball players in those teams too.
Yeah, it's tough to maintain a top-notch record every single year, and you know, hats off to the schools that can do it. But every once in a while, there's a little lull, like you said. But you know that's a rebuilding year, and hopefully they got some young kids that are getting ready to make a little playoff push.
See Coach Tyson directing his group right there. I was going to say on the last one too, and not that I'm advocating fouling, but when we're talking about Simon out there not seeing the ball, the other thing about it is you gotta, if somebody's starting to cut on you, get a little piece of them. I mean, I don't mean grab them, I don't mean tackle them, I don't mean trip them, but
right.
You have to at least make it a little difficult for Kane to make that cut.
Yeah, you got to put a little body onto him.
Brooks inbounding here for Park Center. Comes into Simon, thought about it, tries to go inside with it, and stolen away by Kane. A dangerous pass into the lane. Now way ahead it comes, Tyson, and not able to get it to drop.
It's a great pass, good body lean. You know, the 9th grader Tyson needs to just get a little bit stronger there to finish that.
A little short on the shot is Simon. Here's Kane now for the Orioles. Baseline and cross. The layup is good. Good, strong move. Boy, as soon as he caught that one, he was exploding to the hoop.
Yeah, that was nice. Did a nice job there.
Broadway picks up the dribble into a double team. Let's see, do we get a timeout call? Yes, we do. Park Center takes the timeout. 67-45 Osio lead. Broadway, they knew he was in trouble there, so used that timeout.
Yeah, it's tough. That's the dead spot on a basketball court, right across the half-court line, and in that corner, there's no place to go if you get a nice trap. So you want to try to get that ball to the middle of the court as fast as possible.
See what Park Center has coming up. They will be taking on Maple Grove on Friday night, and then next Tuesday they take on Elk River.
You always like it as a coach. Here we go.
There's a look at Osio's schedule. They've got Anoka coming here, and then they'll be playing at Wayzata next Tuesday, non-conference game.
That's good to play Wayzata, and Anoka's playing a little bit better this year, so Osio will have a few tough games coming up here.
Wayzata's quietly put together a pretty good season. New coach over there, and they gotten off to, I believe they're 13-5 coming into Tuesday night. So
yeah, they had a battle with Maple Grove the other night over at Osio Junior High School, and Maple Grove pulled it out at the end. You know, Wayzata was up double digits with 4 or 5 minutes to go.
Pirates basketball here as they'll inbound in front of their bench. Brooks gets it into Broadway. Broadway giving it up to Washington, and now Brooks.
A little better patience here for the Pirates, you know, working it around. Nice drive.
Yeah, Lucene not quite able to finish with the left hand. It was a good, strong attack, though.
Yeah, you got to like that possession if you're the coach there.
Anderson will stop and pop. It's a long 2 for Alan Anderson. He has 3 buckets in this half, and a total of 9 points in the game now. 69-45 Orioles. Washington kicks it over, and Brooks will let fly short with that. Washington has his hands on it, and the Orioles can't come up with it, so the Pirates will get another crack. Baseline, Brooks over to Lucene, into traffic. Oh, and it rolls off. And Betty, the rebound. Good move again.
Lucene's had a couple great shots there, just can't finish them.
Anderson will go all the way and finishes in a lot of traffic. Brooks looking to attack it back the other way. Short, but a tip free, and the layup will roll in for Broadway.
Man, Broadway got a roll there.
Back we run the other way. Betty, and off the glass and good. He managed to avoid charging there.
Nice pass by Tyson. He found him, and good body control by Betty.
Pull-up jumper for Lucene is short. And he goes back and gets it, had it for a moment. Now Tyson leaves it for Kane. He'll shoot the three. He's not quite on target as he was in the first half, and good effort as he tries to save that one and actually winds up going partway out the door. Another look at Betty. I think a good no call there. They were so intent on drawing the charge that they went down anyway, even though there wasn't really much contact, if any.
Did a nice job there.
Hooker into the front court here for Park Center. Osio working on some zone again a little bit here. Lawson back into the game for the Pirates. Now Gunty puts it on the deck and was grabbed on the way up, and he will shoot two. And Cross will pick up that foul for Osio. So Lawrence Ogunti to the free throw line here for PC. He had 7 points in the first half, but hasn't scored here in the second.
Nice free throw.
Lawrence had a pretty good year for the Pirates football team this year.
Yes, very good athlete.
Second one also on the mark. Bezdacek driving it, now back out to Tyson. Number 20, Kyle Williams has checked in, and J.J. Svack burying the three for the Orioles.
That was a great job by Tyson to Williams, back over to Svack for the three. Nice job finishing that play.
Way across it comes Hooker, splits a double and missed the shot, tip free to Osio. Now they come back the other way. Tyson's gonna stop and pop, and it's good. Wow, he's a shooter. 79-49. Now Hooker looking to attack the other way. Wouldn't drop and knocked out of bounds by Bezdacek. Right when he catches us, I think he has this in mind. If the D-back's off, he's going to let it go.
And he needs to do that. If for him to get minutes, he's got to score. Otherwise, he put another defender out there, so he's got to keep looking to shoot.
Lucane at the baseline, and we will get a foul against the Orioles. That'll be Cross whistled for the personal here. They got him for the reach right there before the shoulder contact. I mean, not a bad call. I mean, it looks ultimately like a charge later, but he did a grab across the arm first.
Yeah, he did.
No good. Williams the rebound. And Ogunti with the body contact there on the drive. Overall, the officials done a pretty good job here tonight.
Yeah, they've done a great job. It's tough to official when you get games 30 points and things like that, but they've been really consistent, I thought, all night.
Inbounded here to Bezdacek. Looks to go inside with it. Cross will kick it back out. Tyson passes up the long one, and he'll give it to J.J. Svack. Again, looking inside and back out. Svack will take that three short this time. Cross the rebound, wouldn't go. Tyson tipping it back out, and they'll get another possession.
It's a great job by Tyson just to find a way. He wasn't going to catch it, so he tipped it and found a good spot out to his teammates.
Williams going to the rim is fouled by Lucane, and will go to the free throw line. And that will be the fifth on Cato Lucane.
This is hard on both teams right now. You want to, obviously a little bit easier on the Orioles, but the Pirates need to find a way to get some good things happening here and get some momentum going and find a way to work it into next game.
So Williams will head to the free throw line as the teams make some substitutions here. Obviously, they had to replace Lucane with that fifth foul. And Williams gets his name in the scorebook as he makes the free throw, gets his first point of the night. Too strong on the second one, and Broadway controls it. Brooks lost it, trying to split the double team. Tyson will kick it to Svak on the baseline, short with that. And Ogunti able to track it down after Brooks tried to reel it in. Tyson got a piece of that one, and he'll get the steal. To J.J. Svak, layup is good.
Nice play by Tyson there just to find somebody.
And they get a steal again.
Good finish by Svak. He doesn't get too many layups in too many games, I'm assuming. But he did a nice job of finishing there.
Work the weave out top here. Now Williams going on the attack, and he scores it. 84-49. Osio has a fairly good chance to get up to 100 here. And Williams, good hustle, knocked that one away. And I forgot about, we've gotten to the running time thing, so the getting to 100 may not happen here as with this margin. The clock continues to run.
Yep, it was, I noticed the score table here was indicating running time. They always know when it's time for running time. It moves the game along for them a little faster too.
And there's a turnover as just into the game, Dante Jones for Osio. And Tyson's three won't go. There's Jones, the rebound and put back. Not a bad way to get yourself into the game there right away. And let's see, they almost had a steal, but we'll get a foul call. So look at Jones going to get that offensive rebound. Thought that was Wheeler Baker for a minute there.
Looks a little bit like him, yeah.
I think that was the same number he wore too.
Athletic play like Wheeler there.
That foul was against Jones too, by the way. Nice crossover by Hooker. And we will get a hoop and the foul. Looks like a blocking foul. So the hoop should count, and it does. And Jones will get another foul quickly there.
That was a great crossover by Hooker. And God, he's strong. He can finish when he gets to the rim.
Free throw crawls over and in. So 86-52. Kick back over to Williams on that left wing. He's going to go to the hoop and just rolls out. Hooker punches it free and bats it ahead, but couldn't track it down, and it will go back to Osio. Inbounded here to Tyson. Hervey is back in there now for Osio as well. Saw a little bit of time in that first half. Bezdicek steps in, fires, and hits. So he gets his name in the score column as well here for the Orioles. Back the other way, layup wouldn't quite roll in for Washington, and Bezdicek able to grab it.
Nice job by rebounding by Bezdicek. You know, Park Center had a great look there, just didn't fall.
Tough shot in traffic, and Kyle Williams, he's going to get some shots up here late, and that was a tough one.
That was a nice little shake move he did.
And we get a foul on Hervey of Osio.
You know, this really got away from Park Center at the start of the second half, and very late in the second half it did, but Osio's done a nice job of keeping the pressure on and just keep on playing.
Matthews shooting, and it's good. And second one won't go. Nygaard able to tip the rebound free to himself. Matthews kicking it back out. Washington drives, dishes, and the layup is good. So a 90-55 game. And there's the steal. Pirates coming back the other way. Matthews stepping to the middle, blocked by Jones, follow no good, and then the third try will go for Washington. And we will get a foul call on Washington. See if we'll end up shooting these free throws at the end. The time is going to tick off. And I don't believe we'll end up shooting the free throws. So Osio picks up the victory here tonight by a score of 90-57. And obviously that guy Kane got things started in the right direction. 23 points in the first half, Darren. And Osio just had a little more, got some better looks, just overall outplayed the Pirates.
Yeah, they did. They just, Osio just had too much tonight for the Pirates. And, the Pirates got some great athletes and had some early shots that didn't fall, and it just kind of got away from them. And Orioles did a nice job of knocking down some shots and keeping some pressure going when it was crunch time, and finished them off really nice.
27 for Kane leading the way. Betty had 17. Anderson and Tyson also in double figures with 11. And for the Pirates, Hooker winds up with 11. Gunty had 9 points. And Broadway actually off the bench with 12. To lead the way. So we hope you've enjoyed tonight's telecast here. For Darren Lamker and all of our crew, MJ Wilcox, your final score tonight from Osseo: Orioles 90, Pirates 57.